Okay, look
Nailed it.
happy. Like you want to be here, everyone.
Jordan quickly reviews 4 games with other people.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and this is Jordan Plays Blue, and I'm welcoming you all back to a new episode of Jordan quickly reviews 4 games with other people. And here are my other people. We have to my side, that direction, the one and only Ambie Valdez.
Hello.
We have to my diagonal, that's still that direction. We have Monique, the board game.
I'm trying. Oh,
Keep
me. Hi. I'm sorry. And I just realized it's like this is probably just not helpful at all because we're all in such a different pattern than what I see. But hi, I'm Monique. Hi. Helpful.
Monique is here. And to my lower part is Jacqueline.
Hi. Nice to see everyone.
With Pudgy Cat Games, right?
Yep. The Pudgy Cat is on my lap. She might even make an appearance.
Fantastic. Does the Pudgy Cat have a name, or is she just Pudgy Cat?
Yeah. Her official name is Layla.
Great. That's a good name. I often refer to my cat as Cat, so I would not have thought anything of it if your cat was named Pudgy Cat.
She's frequently called Pudgy Cat, though.
Love it.
Sounds like there's a little Layla in all of us.
So this episode, we're talking about Pandasaurus games, and all the games that we're going to be talking about today are published by them. I'll be honest, the game I'm talking about, I don't know if it was published by them, but they're in the rule book, so they were somehow involved in the game I'm talking about. But Pandasaurus is a publisher that puts out some pretty good games, I think. A lot of them, they're not necessarily always super heavy. They're not always super light. They kind of have a little bit of everything. But they're all really well produced and have a solid look about them. I think that's one of their parts of their identity, is how the production, how the games look is always really solid, in gameplay as well. It's more not necessarily super thematic kind of games, probably less on the thematic side of things, but yeah. So why don't we get started with Ambie, and she's going to be talking about the mind.
Oh, hello everyone. I had watched some of your earlier episodes of Jordan reviews 4 games quickly with 4 other people. Is that the title? I don't remember, but
I forget
noticed
sometimes. It's close
but
enough.
yeah, I saw Chris Yee was on it twice, and both times he sang a song about his game. So I was like, oh gosh, I need to make a song about my game too. And he played guitar too, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring out my guitar that I haven't played in a couple of years and try. So
let's do it.
Killing
so
it.
excited.
I'm very sorry.
You are so cool, Ambie. I can't
This is
handle
awesome.
it. You are so cool.
Hopefully I do this because I haven't been able to do it one way through without messing up.
There's a first for everything.
Yeah. Shuffle these cards, each one is numbered. What have we got? 1 through 100. We each get one, and then we will try to play them in order from low to high. It sounds so easy, it sounds so bland, but there's one catch: you can't say what's in your hand, and that's the mind. Simple enough, but hard to win. Hands on the table, let's begin. You gotta play, but don't know when you're playing the mind. But now each round, we get one more card, and in this game, it's getting so hard. If we play wrong, a life it will cost. When they're all gone, that's when we've lost. It's not as easy as it sounds, but we'll get a reward when we finish certain rounds. And that's the mind. Simple enough, but hard to win. Hands on the table, let's begin. You gotta play, but don't know when you're playing the mind. One other rule is to use a star. We raise our hands and discard a card. The lowest one that each of us holds. It gives us a break, gets us back in control. Now let's see if it's easy to play the mind. But once we've won, can we play through a game blind? And that's the mind. Simple enough, but hard to win. Hands on the table, let's begin. You gotta play, but don't know when you're playing the mind. Let's start playing the mind.
That was amazing.
I loved that so much.
They
That
need
was
to like
fantastic.
record you and make a commercial and just use that as the advertisement for the game.
I was
Love
actually
it.
thinking of making a recording and my first instructional video in song.
I love it.
That's
It
great.
has like all the rules in there. But yeah,
was so
that's how you
great.
play the mind.
Yes, that is how you play the mind. That sounds exactly right.
But yeah, I love this game. It's cooperative. It's really easy to learn. I've played it with a bunch of different people. I've introduced it to like 40 or more different people, and almost everyone has loved it. All different types of people too, like light gamers, heavy gamers, non-gamers, like a lot of people. And yeah, we always really like it. It's nice playing with the same group over and over again because like you get your timing synced up. And so yeah, I've played the mind over 100 times, and I haven't played it much recently because I haven't played that many games recently, but I do want to play it again.
Do you play with a musical variant? I know that game you're like not supposed to talk, but like I just imagine like you're just like humming a tone and like
No,
just
no,
like a
no.
single note, and like everybody just has to kind of guess what that means.
no, no, we're usually quiet. But yeah, like somehow we sync up, and it's really amazing when we get to like there's a big gap. Someone plays a 20 or something. The next card someone plays is a 66, and then the next person plays a 67, and you get it right. That feeling is amazing.
Mhm.
So that's why I love the mind. But Jacqueline, I hear you might have different thoughts. So what are your thoughts on the mind?
So to preface this, I like most board games. Like there are very few games I meet that I am like, this is not for me, like, or this is not for me. The mind, however, throws me for a loop. And I don't dislike it per se, but I find it extremely frustrating. It's like one of those games that, like, by the time I'm done with it, I'm more stressed than I was before we started playing. So I'm like, when I'm looking for a game to kind of relax to, this is definitely not going to be the go-to game. I do agree. I think it's a really easy way to like introduce a game to people. It's quick to be able to teach, but it is so frustrating when you're like waiting and you're like, all right, I have number 16, but like my next card after that is like 43. And is there anybody in between that's going to have a number between 16 and 43? And then people are pausing and you're like, wow, my anxiety level is going like up and up and up every second that passes here. So for those that are anxious people, the mind is definitely a stressful game. If you're like really unsure about what's going to happen next.
Yes,
But I do agree. It can be a lot of fun.
yeah, it's definitely not a relaxing game. Like, but I also like a lot of real-time cooperative games, which tend to be stressful. And I realized a few or like last year or something that the mind is actually kind of a real-time cooperative game too, because it doesn't have turns and it's cooperative. So it's kind of in that category.
Yeah. The mind has something that I really don't like in games, and that is that kind of limited communication.
Oh, I
where-
love that. Yeah.
So, and it feels very similar to like Hanabi,
Mhm.
or maybe like Magic Maze. They almost feel to me
All games that
like more like social experiments, like
Yeah.
kind of like a group, like, can we do this? You know, and
yes, we can.
yeah, and I've played all of those games a lot, and I've decided I don't like it. So and I think it's generally because of that limited communication, and I enjoy even a game that doesn't have any interaction. I like being able to chat around the table and not be limited in what I'm allowed to. Like, I've played Hanabi with people who are like, yeah, we can't talk about our cards, but can we talk about other things? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh,
we talk about other things.
right. So yeah, it's not for me. Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Well, why don't we turn it to Jacqueline with Sonora?
All right. I don't have a cool song, but I did bring out the game so I could show you some cool things that are in this. And unlike the mind, I do really like Sonora. So for me, for those that are not familiar with Sonora, it basically takes the idea of like a roll and write or a flip and write, but to a whole different level. Rather than rolling dice or flipping cards, you are actually flicking discs onto a little board, and you're trying to get them to land in the spots that you want them to. That way, whatever they land on, you can use to score points on your score sheet. So you have this cool little board. It's divided into zones. It's flat. You flick things. There are some really nice different colored discs. And depending on what they're landing on, you are filling in the score sheet, which has 4 different grids. It's for 1 to 4 players, so it does have a solo mode option, which is pretty cool. It's pretty quick to play. It plays in about like 30 to 45 minutes. Good for ages about 10 and up. And during the game, as you're flicking things, you're able to kind of, similar to shuffleboard, knock other opponents' pieces out of the way. So you can try to like aim to score things that will benefit you. You could try to mess up others. Or if you're like me and you just can't aim at all, you just kind of flick and wait and see what happens. But what's really cool is it doesn't matter what strategy of those you're going for. You don't have to be like the expert of like getting your piece to land exactly where you want it to in order to have fun and do well in this game. You can certainly try to strategize and be like, I'm going to aim to get a bunch of things over that are going to land on this corner because I want to fill in a bunch of these. Great in theory, but if it doesn't work out and maybe you have a bunch that land over here, just work with what you got and you can wind up scoring a bunch of points this way. And what's cool with this board is depending on what category you're in, they all have different bonuses. So the more things you're able to fill in a specific category, kind of the more bonuses you're going to collect. That will maybe allow you to do things in other categories that you didn't necessarily score as many points in. So you don't necessarily have to rely on your flicking skills to be like super perfect in order to have a lot of fun. I really like that it's kind of a unique take on like a blank and write game. I have yet to see another flick and write game that I've played so far. Gordon, do you have any thoughts for this one that you want to share?
Yeah, I love Sonora. It was my second favorite game of last year. It was really high up there of the games that came out last year. I think the flicking is really cool. I think the flicking feels, at least to me, just as a different way to randomize. Yeah. So instead of dice, instead of cards, you're flicking. And I always kind of treated it more as a randomizer instead of, you can try to get it into a certain section, but it's kind of felt just like a different, more physical way to randomize something. It felt like you had some control, but I'm not totally sure how much control you actually had in that. But also it had that kind of that's so clever, Ganshan clever type thing where in each of the sections, you don't like, even if your flicking wasn't awesome, you can still like this section will then you circle something and then it pings up to this section, you circle here and it pings something to this section. So it still has kind of that you still have that ability to do multiple things. And then it felt almost as if you were like, each of those quadrants could be its own roll and write game. And,
absolutely. And
it would be a great game, but this one combining all 4 of them with the flicking, it just comes together super interestingly. And I really love it. My wife actually last week just asked, she's like, we should play that game where you're flicking, you're flicking the things. And I was like, we should play that game. I have not played that in a while. It is buried in my basement right now under some construction stuff, but it is something that we are definitely going to be playing soon because it is a really interesting game. It's super unique and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, which I think a game should be.
I agree. I think the only other thing I could say, I think a missed opportunity was making this reversible. It looks like the back should be able to be a board that you can swap out, but maybe in a future edition that they could make like alternate ones and change up your board.
That'd be great.
That would keep it even more interesting as you keep playing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Cool. Well, I'm going to go next. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
It's my show. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, so the game I wanted to talk about is called Apollo, a game inspired by the NASA moon missions. Now, this is a game published by Buffalo Games. I think they mostly do puzzles, but they published this one. But Pandasaurus did, I believe, the development and helped with the design and maybe some of the distribution of the game. So they're listed in the rule book as being involved in this game. So I felt it was fair game to talk about. Apollo is a game that I think I picked it up at Target. I've seen it a number of different kind of big box stores. It almost has a I'll show it down there in the corner, and it has kind of a like a museum gift shop kind of look to it. Like it feels like it should be kind of an educational kind of game, and it definitely lives up to that. The production of it is super cool. The artwork is fantastic. The components are awesome. It has these so one in the game, it's a cooperative game, but one player is mission control. So, and they kind of have a DM screen in front of them with some rows of pieces that they're moving back and forth, the different what's the word I'm looking for, different levels, different things that's happening on the spaceship, and everybody else are the astronauts on the ship trying to correct things that are going wrong on the mission, or things that are going wrong on the ship, so you can complete your mission to presumably the moon. And we landed there allegedly, and you're doing these things. The mission command is giving clues and letting them know like, hey, this is happening. But on like this it's a really nice like thick cardboard screen. It has these little plastic clips that you can like pop up when like the levels get too high or too low on certain things. And you're passing these little chips through this little like slot to give them extra actions and things like that. It's a really unique game, and the production is fantastic. Even it has two different ways to play. That's like a Gemini mission and can't remember what the other one was called, but it comes in these little pouches that almost look like astronaut ice cream that you get at a gift shop. It has that kind of look to it. So the whole production is so good. I will say though, me and my friends did not enjoy the game, unfortunately. And
is it because it didn't come with actual astronaut ice cream?
It's true. I was really disappointed when I opened it up and I just found more game pieces.
Ice cream.
It didn't taste good at all. It tasted super cardboardy.
Spoiled again. Where's the immersion? Where's the theme?
I actually just looked it up on BGG, and one of the mechanisms is communication limits,
So
which you just said you don't like.
I do. So,
that's
there's a couple things. So one that Monique was just joking about, where's the immersion? I honestly, it felt super mechanical, which I guess sort of works because you're trying to keep a spaceship going and you were literally doing mechanical stuff. But it felt like you were just kind of moving pieces back and forth, which generally I'm okay with. But for a game that felt like it should be immersive, it didn't really grab us super well. And then there was that limited communication between mission control and the astronauts. The astronauts are free to discuss anything. Mission control can't say things, but honestly, with them, flicking up the little indicators and giving the different actions, there was limited communication, but it didn't really feel super limited. But I think ultimately it just felt super mechanical. It was also really hard. And I don't necessarily like my cooperative games very hard. I would rather play on kind of medium or easy mode. I feel like I want some success. And this one didn't feel like it was like that. Now, I will also say on BGG, it has really great reviews. A lot of people really like this game. So I feel like I might be an outlier in that. But I think other people may have picked this up at Target and it may not have lived up to their expectations or what they were hoping for. So I also know none of you guys have played this game, correct?
No,
So
but I just added it to my want to play lists.
There you go.
No.
There you go. So there it is. I feel like if you look it up, you'll kind of see if it's a game for you. We really like cooperative games. The theming was super cool. It's a super unique look. The production is awesome. We were really excited to play it. It just kind of fell flat for us, unfortunately, but other people really like it. So don't let little old me sway you one way or the other. But I wanted to share my opinions on that.
Dear diary, I'm never playing this game because Jordan says so.
Fine. Monique, why don't you talk about a game?
Yes. I can talk about games. I love games.
Games are great.
I actually played the Mind. Sorry, I played the Mind. The same day that we met. The same day that we met, Jordan.
Yes,
Okay,
we didn't
I've
play
had-
it together though, did we?
No, I played with some other people, and then I flittered away and played Western Legends with y'all. So it's so
Yes.
funny because like we're talking about the mind, and I was just like, the
Yeah.
first time I played that, I had a great time. And then I met Jordan, so it's like it's all full circle. It's great.
Oh, it was such a nice day. That was a really fun night. I can't wait till we can do that again. It was such a good night.
It was a big day. It was a big day. So conventions soon. All of us are gonna play the mine. All right, Jacqueline, we're gonna see if this
Join.
works.
You know what? Maybe it's the people. Maybe you have
It
to play with
maybe
the right people.
we can all sit quietly and look at each other instead.
Speaking of the people, that is exactly how I feel about this next game I'm going to talk about. I'm going to absolutely use that as a segue because I'm going to talk about Brew. And in fact, since Ambie made a song and you know Jacqueline just has a copy of her game and you talked about a cool like game. It's not for everyone, but I have a copy. No, I'm just joking. I'm totally teasing you. And I think that's wonderful that you have a copy of Apollo. And I think it would be really great to play. But anyways, I have a copy of Brew. You could totally cut all of this out. I have a copy of Brew. I do not have a copy of Brew, but I have a poem. Okay. I go through the forest, going through the motions, placing my dice and foraging for potions. I seek companions that I can name, avoiding opponents, wary flames. I work the day and the whole night through, selecting precious potions to brew. And
Aw.
The name of the game.
that is
So
exactly
cute.
how you play. Thank you, Ambie, for the inspiration. It's
Like when you're watching
you
a
guys
movie
make that
and
now?
they say the name of the movie in it. That's what that felt like.
Yay! So that is Brew. And like I am a huge Ghibli fan. This is a little known fact about me, that I happen to really love Ghibli films and anime in general. And so when I saw the art alone for Brew, I was automatically hooked because it's just like, is this a game where I finally get to live out my anime dreams of becoming a pocket monster champion of some kind? Kind of. Yes, I did spend most of the demo getting everyone to give me a quick biography of their personality and names of the animals that they chose as companions in this game because they give you bonuses like anytime you go get mushrooms, like this little badger, weasel, fox, bird, lizard thing is going to give you even more mushrooms. We're going to call him Earl because Earl's important to us. And I loved that aspect of the game. And it is something that you don't want to play with everyone. For example, I played with people who were incredibly competitive, and it's just like I will burn down this entire forest just because you want it. And then I played with somebody else who was just like, I wonder what this does. Cool. And so it was actually had a really great experience playing with all of those people. And I think as long as you find people who are okay playing games that can be kind of mean because you are fighting for control of very small tight areas and you really got to kind of get in there and get your actions out of the way first and really hope that no one burns down the forest that you're trying to lay claim to. So as long as you can like playing with people who can like leave those things aside and make it not feel personal, or at least make sure that you're communicating this is about having fun, and if you're not having fun then we don't have to play this way or that way or whatever. It's about like as long as you're okay playing with people who play like you, who are okay playing with the spirit of the game, and like everyone's boundaries are kind of respected, I think it's a fantastic game and I really enjoyed it. So
That's great.
is all my feelings and a poem for Brew.
That's great. So this is
This is
not
where it'll
out
go.
yet. It's coming soon from Pandasaurus.
Yeah.
If you're watching this the day that this video is out, it's not out yet. So Monique, how did you play it? You're one of those
I-
industry insiders that
I went to an online convention
Nice.
to play, and I had a great time. Like I think there's a lot of like, you know, online conventions just aren't as good and like people just don't like them, and they are very different, but I've been able to actually play a lot of new games because of online conventions.
Mhm.
So I'm actually really looking forward to just going through more, like both as someone who's giving the demos and someone who gets to participate in them. So that was my experience as playing Brew. It was on Tabletopia with people online.
is on Tabletopia. Cool.
Mhm.
That's great. All right. Nobody else has played Brew, I'm assuming. I have not played it.
Nope.
I am eager to try it out when it comes out, though.
Have you seen the
Same.
art or the animals?
The art looks
I would-
fantastic.
Submitted names for the voting. They didn't win, but you know what? The names that won are pretty good. So
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you can't knock that. Cool.
No.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up this time together of me with some other people. And so why don't we go around and share how, you know, the handful of people that are watching this video, how they can find you guys elsewhere on the internet. So Ambie, why don't you start?
Okay. I'm one half of the podcast Board Game Blitz, which is a 30-minute-ish podcast about board games. We release podcasts every other week. We also have a YouTube channel and we have a Twitch channel where we stream board games. I'm also on the Dice Tower doing YouTube videos every once in a while. And I also have my own YouTube channel, Ambie Rona, where I do song parodies of board games, board game song parodies. And I have my own Twitch channel, Ambie Rona. And all my like Twitter and Instagram stuff is Ambie Rona. It's AMBIERONA. So with most of the things like BGG, Twitter, Instagram,
Great.
you can find me at Ambie Rona.
Great. Monique.
Hi, I'm Monique. I am known in most places as Game Freak Geek Girl. I am a Twitch board game streamer, but I also play story-driven board games or video games as well. And you can find me on Twitch under Game Freak Geek Girl, all one word, or in Twitter under Game Freak Geek. And that's usually where I reside. And I just like to talk about board games, anime, books, and just fun things.
Great. And Jacqueline.
hi everyone. I'm from Pudgy Cat Games. I do both reviews and I'm working on designing my own games as well. I typically do written reviews instead of video reviews. So if you like the written reviews, come find us at pudgycatgames.com. I also post a ton of photos on Instagram, also at Pudgy Cat Games. Some of them have board games, some of them have cats, and some of them have board games with cats. I'm
Great
also on
combination.
Facebook, but that's a little bit less used at the moment. And I've recently joined TikTok. Everything is at Pudgy Cat Games, so whatever you're looking for, we're there somewhere.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been fun. I'll have you guys back. I think you guys have earned that.
Yay!
I'll need to make another song.
Bye, everyone.
I'll be ready.
Bye.